Okay. Okay, today I'm going to show you guys how to make potato cakes. So you need some leftover mashed potatoes or just plain mashed potatoes. You need cheese if you'd like cheese. It's not necessary, but we like the cheese. It makes it cheesy. The kids love the little strings coming from it. Salt and pepper if you like. I like to put parsley or fresh parsley in it. Onion powder and garlic powder and spray cooking oil. If you don't want spray cooking oil, you need some oil for your pan. You can use a cast iron skillet. I've used the copper skillets before, the red copper ones, or I have a griddle, which I love my griddle, and I'm going to use that. So you need to get your pan hot. These will go in your pot when the pan is, they'll go in the pan when it's hot. I put some cooking oil on my griddle here. Okay, then the next step is you're going to mix up your ingredients. You need to sprinkle a little bit of garlic powder in. I would say it depends on how much mashed potatoes you have. So I'm probably going to sprinkle in about 1/4 of a teaspoon. That was garlic powder. 1/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder. I'm sorry guys, I don't usually use a measuring cup except for when I'm baking. Yep, totally dropped it all over. Just a little bit of parsley. It's more for looks, but it's better when it's fresh. And I don't have a whole lot of mashed potatoes, so I'm just gonna do like 1 spoonful of sour cream. Okay, and then I'm gonna add my cheese, like a handful of cheese. And then we can mix it up. And the mashed potatoes, if they're left over, are gonna be kind of hard, and that's all right. Just mash it up and stir it up, and they're really good. Okay, so I stirred it up really good, and I know this doesn't really help you guys watching the video, but I like to smell it to make sure it smells good. Like, you know, you open up a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos, which I'm gonna add, I don't eat very often, but when I open it up, I smell it, and it just smells good. So go ahead, you can be crazy like me, go ahead and smell it. It smells good, like a good mixture of onion and garlic, not too much of one thing or the other, but just enough to add a little flavor to your breakfast. So put your hand over your stove, don't touch it, and feel the heat. I can feel the heat from a couple inches away, so I know that it's ready. So I'm just going to take a big spoonful and drop it on the skillet, or the griddle, the pan, whatever you're using. I'm going to do a couple of these at a time. My griddle has some hot spots. Right here in the middle is the hot spot. If I cook them on the edge, they take forever, and you can kind of see that on my griddle. It's darker in the middle. That's where I always cook. So I love this griddle because I can cook 8 grilled cheese at a time. Granted, the ones on the outside cook slow, but I can cook 8 grilled cheese at a time, and I can do a whole bunch of potato cakes, which are one of my favorite things to eat for breakfast besides donuts. And those are going to sit there for like 5 minutes. They're going to sit there for like 5 minutes. They're going to take a long time. You're waiting for this bottom part underneath to form a crisp crust so you can flip it without it falling to pieces and having a big mess. So in that 5 minutes, all of this needs to be put away. This is how I cook. While that's cooking, I'm doing something else, cleaning up, because I don't like to clean up afterwards. I want to go sit and relax. I want to play with the kids. I have other homework to do with the kids or something to do. So while I'm waiting, I'm not just standing here watching this. I'm putting things away. So I'm putting it in my spice cabinet, which is kind of messy. I have onion powder and then my minced onion behind it, garlic powder, garlic salt, my parsley, and my other green things that are flaky, chili powder, paprika, and then behind that is jalapeno or the chili pepper powder. And then soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce. It's kind of messy, but it's fully stocked, which is the best thing about a cabinet. And my salt and pepper, I'll put up. I'll need it again, but I don't like to have things sitting out that I don't need to. I didn't put any in because I like to put my salt on at the end when I'm eating it. If you want to, go for it. And my last to put away is my sour cream. And I am very blessed to have a fridge, that is stocked full of food. So I have to rearrange a lot, but it's stocked full and it's covered with drawings from my kiddos. Okay, it's been a few minutes. I've got most of my stuff put away. Notice I still have my spray cooking oil and I got my potatoes out. I may need that spray cooking oil after I take these off. So I'm just gonna check the edge here, and it's still really mushy. Can you see that? So I've got to wait a little bit longer on these. Yeah. While I'm waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and get out a plate, set it by the stove so it's ready. And I have a hard time not eating while I'm cooking. So I usually keep something somewhat healthy out, like grapes. I have pineapple, but I'm not sure how long it's been in the fridge. Some of it looks questionable, so I'm probably gonna have to toss that. But I really would like to eat the pineapple, but it doesn't look that great. So I'll stick with my grapes. That keeps me from, first of all, eating supper, but also keeps me from eating the candy in the pantry. Okay, it's been a couple more minutes while I was eating my grapes, and it's starting to get an edge. Can you see that on there? That is what you want. I'm gonna let it go a little bit longer because it's not a big, thick, strong edge, but some of these back here, yes, they do. See how strong that is? It's gonna lift up the other one. To tear it off and just flip it. That is an awesome looking potato cake. I hate it when they smash together, but that means that I have a good edge. Mommy, I can't wait. So I got busy eating grapes and then forgot to videotape turning over the other two. But I went ahead and turned over the other two. And look at that beautiful golden brown. Little crispiness there. It'd be so good on a cold winter morning to have that yummy, creamy mashed potatoes with a little bit of salt on top, if you like. Okay, so I think these are just about done. I'm going to put my plate right here for just a second. If I get it too close to the griddle, the plate will start to get hot and it could shatter, bust. So I'm certain that this one is done. It slid under really easy. So I always flip them over so the hot side is up. And I'm going to do my little, I always do like a test rub underneath to try to scrape it. If there's any resistance, I need to wait because those mashed potatoes are not crispy yet. That one had a little bit at the end, but it's still good. You see this right here? That's where I could feel the resistance. So I could have waited a little bit longer. Now before I put my next mashed potatoes on, I'm gonna move my plate away from the stove. So I have one more. I might be able to make two. Better just make one giant one for me. One more giant potato cake left to make. Now I'm gonna look at my stove. I gotta turn my light back on. This part right here looks like it needs a little more oil. So since I only have one left, I'm going to conserve my oil and put my dollop right here where it's still wet. You can see that's kind of dry. If I was going to make more, I would spray some more cooking oil on, but I just have the one left. So we'll shoot for the wet spot. There we go. Now we wait. Here's my empty bowl. My dishwasher, I don't know what it is, if it's my dishwasher or everybody's dishwasher, but my dishwasher doesn't clean up mashed potatoes very well. it like bakes them on. So it's gonna go in my dirty sink. We had hot chocolate looking at Christmas lights last night, so there's none left. And because I cannot sit still and do not like messes, I will rinse this off while I'm waiting for my potato cake to cook. You can even do it one-handed. Let it sit in there, and then it's pretty well clean. And now I can put it in my dishwasher. Yay! If you were ultra conservative of your water, you could wait until you wash your hands and then swish it around and then put it in your dishwasher. It's up to you. Okay, my last potato cake is on, and it's got a lot of steam coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner down a little bit. And it does smell like it's cooking kind of hot. It looks good though. So I'm going to do my test. All right, I can flip it. Perfect. And now I wait a few more minutes. It doesn't take long for that second side to cook, you probably learned. So, excuse me. So stay close to the stove. Now that's almost done. I don't need my cooking oil, so I'm going to put it away. Yay, everything in its place. Okay, it's been a couple minutes, and see that mashed potato coming off? It's not quite ready to cook yet. I did turn my burner down, and a lot of times I forget that. But if you're not careful, then this crispy, yummy part will be burnt. And that's not so yummy. The good thing about being impatient is then you get this mashed potatoes on there, and that's the yummy part. Blow on it, and then take my finger on there, and then eat it. It's a vegetable. It's still healthy while you're cooking. Okay, so my last one, I was afraid it was burning, so I took it off real quick. And I got mashed potatoes on my spatula. I'll have to lick it off later. But my last potato cake literally flopped. But it doesn't matter. They'll still be good to eat. So I like to serve them with a little salt and pepper. Salted. Peppered. And my husband likes to have ketchup on top. I'm not a fan of ketchup on top. I just like my potatoes with salt and pepper. So enjoy.